going to go ahead and go for it. So my name is Heather Chavin, and I run a company called Go Done, and it's a virtual co-working community. So you come, you show up, we put you in small Zoom rooms, and you get to do a combination of working and networking. So it's really helpful for remote workers and solopreneurs. So I'm here kind of representing, I'm going to give in my intro and my pitch kind of together. I know folks are doing pitches in their sessions, but this is it will apply to what I'm talking about to give you some background. So in this virtual co-working community, I really did it just because if you're a remote worker or a new remote worker, sometimes it's hard to get work done at home, and then the feelings of isolation, etc. It was really an answer to that. I also am not a huge fan of social media, and I need to build a business. And so I built an arm of the company called Go Publish, and that's kind of the most relevant to the content today. So Go Publish is about building your audience. So if you're here, you have a blog, and you're probably promoting your blog. Hopefully you're doing your 80-20 with your 20% building your content and 80% promoting it. And so I found that I would promote and I would get 9 impressions, building an audience because I'm early in the company. So that was not acceptable. I'm not going to put all that time and energy into something that's not actually going to generate business as much as I might enjoy it. So, since I don't like to be on social media, I'm an accountability productivity person, I built a program around it. And that's what Go Publish is. And what the tools we're going to go over today are part of what I cover in the orientation for Go Publish. So that's the guts of it. The quick pitch part for Publish that comes with a couple of bonus nuggets. Publish is, we're a community, so we're here to support each other as we grow each other's businesses. There's a lot of touchy-feely there. If you're just there to make more sales, there are other ways that you can do that, and we're not for you. But we definitely are very much into supporting each other, and it's been really, really fun to watch everybody's businesses grow. And we do that a couple of different ways. Number one is we do feedback sessions. So you have to share your work, and that actually is a huge community builder because it's a vulnerable place to have somebody give you feedback on your work, and folks are vulnerable with you, and you take good care of them and give compassionate, generous feedback. It's super powerful to have somebody else look at your work. And then the other piece are the promotion sessions. So folks in here might be familiar with kind of the pods, like pods on LinkedIn where you promote each other's sessions. So social media algorithms are very much, they favor a lot of interaction on your post in what's called the golden hour. So you write your blog, you post it on social media outlets, and if there's not a lot of interaction with that post within the first hour, the algorithm says, nobody needs to see this in their feed. If you have interaction within that first hour, then it says, people are responding to this. I'm going to put it in some more feeds, and there you go. So when you're starting and you don't have a large audience, it's incredibly frustrating. You just can't get that leap, and that's why we built a community around it. So I found in a lot of pods, you get a lot of mixed participation, and not necessarily within that first hour. So we are particular about that, and we have certain promotion sessions. Here's the nugget for you guys. I did a real beta test with my hosts, the people who helped me run the program. There were 4 of us. Didn't have a huge bump, a little bit of a bump. Our first cohort was 10 people, and that 10 people mark makes a significant difference. So certainly come join me at Go Publish. But if that's not for you, can you find 10 people? And when you look for those 10 people, don't all be life coaches, because you're going to be pulling from each other's markets, but be adjacent. So I have a burnout coach and I have a career coach, and that's great. There's all kinds of, they're not going to take each other's clients and that kind of thing. If you're a real estate agent, get somebody who sets up houses, get somebody who does yards, that does landscape architecture, that kind of thing. So get complementary, not all the same. So there's my pitch. And I would love to have any of you at Go Publish. Of course, if you're ready for that touchy-feely community, support one another. Otherwise, find yourself that pod. So even if you get seen, you've got to have good material. So that's what we're here for, is to we're going to use some of the big data and tools out there to improve our post itself. So we've got to have that high quality content. I'm going to put my website and it's actually 5 free tools. I have a little bonus tool in there for you all. I'm going to put that in the chat. I can find my way to the chat. Give me a moment. I lost our screen. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. So in the chat are our free tools. Oh, and they did not format terribly well. I'm going to go through my slides on these, but if we have some Q&A time at the end, I'm happy to share my screen and go live and go play with the tools. But I recommend that you pop them up on your own browser and play along. If you have any questions, please do put them in the chat as we go along. I'm happy to do that. Okay, so let's get my screen share up. Application window, here we go. And hold on here. Let me get my presentation playing. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting it to appear right in our screen share. I can share my screen, but I'm not sure how to start and advance slides. So it looks like I can only share my screen. I can't actually interact with it. So let's see. So I am, okay, there has to be a way to punch you. If you're still there, help me out. How do I access this? Oh, maybe I just access it from here. You guys, I think I figured it out. Play. I want it to play, but not maximize. All right. I think I can just click through. Okay, great, great, great. I have it figured out. I'll play my slides. Okay, so here's our first one. It's called Answer the Public. This answers the question, what do I write? So if you have blank screen problems, this is a great place to go. So this is what the homepage looks like. It's actually, this guy moves. It's a little bit creepy, and there's a way in the FAQs to turn him off, but I actually find him bizarrely intriguing to watch. You come in here and right where you see the EG chocolate, that's where you put in your search terms. So whatever you do. So I do productivity. So I might put in procrastination. I might put in, productivity hacks. I might put in something like that. You put in something like that. And for my example, I put in blog post. And what it generates is a list of questions actual people have typed into search engines. So this is how big data can, these are the questions that people are having. And you can see some of the dots are darker green than others, and that means a higher rate of search. So I want to, if I'm thinking about, what do I want to write about? If I want to write about blogs, what is a blog post? There's multiple ones in here about the length of a blog post. Can a blog post be too long? Can a blog post be a landing page, and so on? So right there, I can look at all these questions and say, which of these questions can I answer, and am I uniquely positioned to answer with my own, flair to it? So if I'm a productivity person, then I'm going to look, I like the length ones, and I'll talk about ROI, right? I can tweak it and give my particular perspective on that. So how to get it done and how to do it well. This is what actual consumers are wanting to take a look at. So this is a great place to go when you're like, what do I want to write about, and what are people interested in? The next one is called, CoSchedule has several tools. Their Headline Studio is really fantastic. And all of these will want your email address, but they'll have a free version to it. So I have yet to pay for the upgraded version of it. The free tool has been incredibly helpful for me already. And you'll see some different, this is how I got the title for my presentation here. A couple things to note about CoSchedule. If you're like, I have to have an A, like I need 90% or more, let's talk about ROI. This is not going to generate more customers and more people for your coaching business or more people for whatever, right? We want to get into the green, but if you're doing a landing page, then maybe spend some time, right? Because it's going to be seen again and again and again and again. If you're doing just your weekly blog, don't sweat it out. As long as you're in the green, you have a really good solid tool, or you have a really good solid headline. And I would use it for my title, my subtitle, and I would use it for my all my headings and subheadings along the way. So know your keywords and jump in. One caveat I'll give, so we'll take a look at it will give you multiple things. So you see word balance, word count, character count, and so on. And it will kind of coach you along there. Is it too long? Do you need more positive words in there, etc.? The word balance is where the bulk of this is made up, and you'll see, again, using their data, what kind of word balance you want. And you want to make sure you have a power word, and you want some emotion words, etc. And you can see how that how it's outlined my title and given it a score based on some of these, in addition to the length and so on. I do have somebody in GoGo Publish who is a physician who does kind of life balance coaching for other medical professionals. And when she puts the word patient in, like I'm going to see a patient, I take care of patients, it doesn't register as any points for her. So let's keep a toe in the real world. She should definitely use the word patient in her titles. It will help her market. It will help her connect with her market and her to see her market. When we use any of these big data tools, it's for everyone, and you are a pro and you know your market. So when she puts the word patient in there, she shouldn't substitute it for something else. That's going to be beautiful to talk to her market, and it's relevant to her market. So don't get caught up in the whole gamification. I got to get a bigger score. That makes it fun. That makes that will improve what you do and how you do it. But don't lose touch with reality and who your target market is. The other thing that I will mention when we come back up here, I think there was the headline type. So you'll see the fourth under the 89, you'll see the fourth one down. If we were to scroll down on the page live, you would see, I'll give you the shortcut. Co-schedule favors, how-tos, lists or steps, anything that starts with a number, and questions. So that's where you want to be for your, those are the types of headlines that are going to get the most clicks. Now, keep in mind, once everybody knows this, your headline's going to look like everybody else's. So it doesn't hurt to necessarily throw in something unusual from time to time and then look at your metrics and see if it's working. Okay, so let's step into graphics. A lot of us, if we're coaches or something, we're not graphic designers. We want to have a really polished, great looking post. This is where the tool Pablo comes in. So Pablo is fantastic. It's probably one of the coolest things on the internet. If you look in the upper left, you see where the word tools where the word tools is. I typed in tools and I hit return, and it searches a variety of different royalty-free databases. So you get to use these pictures. You don't have to worry about attribution or anything. Royalty-free databases based on your search terms. And then if you look in the upper right, you'll see I've chosen the Facebook Twitter format for my picture, also good for LinkedIn. And I also use this for blog posts. So so this will be my I will have banner images, and then I'll have images throughout the article. And that's great for when you're promoting your article on social media. You don't have to use the same header image every time. So think about what you'll have subheadings in your blog post, right? So you could have a picture for each subhead, and you want to do a text overlay, which Pablo will do, and I'll show you some of those pieces are on the right. You want to do a text overlay relevant. So you could either quote your own content, or you can, have something similar, maybe if the quote's too long. So over on the right-hand side, you have filters. Pablo will default to a light filter with white text. Because there was nice negative space in this picture, I removed the filter, but you'll see that. And so if you're like, my picture isn't clear enough, that's where you want to go. Right below that, you'll see text, and you can have gobs of text on your picture. Of course, we're looking at grabbing people's attention. I don't recommend gobs of text. I recommend you use CoSchedule's Headline Studio to figure out what to put on your picture. So it's either going to be maybe one of your subheads or a version of that. So use Headline Studio, then take that text and overlay it on a relevant picture. You also see that I got GoGo Publish on here. Yay. So lower right-hand corner, you'll see a logo. If I hadn't uploaded a logo, you would see one of those buttons would say upload. And so you can upload your logo. And here I have it quite prominent, but I would always recommend that you have your logo on your picture. If it's not the point of the picture, you make it small and put in a corner. But we want to make sure that that your brand, whatever it is, if it's whether it's you're scrolling through your blog post, it's one more time to get your logo in front of folks. And as you promote your blog post on social media, you'll see that logo, and people will start to build familiarity, and familiarity is trust, and so on. So make sure you have your logo on there. What you can't see on here, on the left side below the pictures is also an upload button. So I have a testimonial from someone, and so I will upload their picture and put a text overlay and quote their testimonial on there, right? So you can upload your own graphics if you need to. And then in the lower right under the logo is a place where you can download or publish straight to social media. And of course, I recommend you download it, put it in your blog post. And then when you publish your blog post, you can select that as the featured picture when you do it. So a lot of fun. Okay, next question. How can I be a better writer? So there is something called the Hemingway app, which is just magic on the internet. I know they're all magic. I love my tools. So paste your article into Hemingway, including it has above this where you can't see from the screen grab. You have your headings and your subheads and all of that. And so you'll put your content in there and it will pick out. So the yellow is sentences that are hard to read, a little more complex. The red is sentences that are really long and difficult to read. And then it will give you limits on how often you use the passive voice and how many adverbs you use. And then, of course, if there's an easier way, it will favor a lower reading level for sure. So, and really, even if you have kind of a hoity-toity target market, I mean, if you think about cognitive load, if you are communicating something, you want to communicate the idea. So reduce the cognitive load to interpret what you're saying so that your ideas get across. Depending on what you're writing about, you might need a higher grade level or who your target market is, but never hurts to go lower. So there's Hemingway. And then here's our bonus tool, Grammarly.com. If you don't have Grammarly uploaded to your system, it's basically a souped up version of spell checker. And there's of course, premium version and so on, but it will go anywhere and everywhere with you so that when you're typing up so when you're writing your blog, it's there. And then when you're promoting yourself on social media and you're doing your little snippets in there, that will be there as well. So that's it. That was my quick lightning fast tour of fabulous tools online to improve your blog posts. But I will still say, find that group of 10 people. Let me see. Find that group of 10 people and make sure you're not all selling the same thing. It really will make a huge, huge difference. And so when you write that fabulous blog, promote it on social media and get folks to click on it. Or if you're doing Medium, get them to give you your applause and all of that right off the bat. Okay. Let's see. I'm scanning the chat. Now, that's it for me. If you have questions, put them in the chat. I'm scanning the chat right now. And I see which way it goes. So if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. Not going full screen. Okay, fixed. Okay, thank you, whoever fixed the links. Yeah, Answer the Public is great, Derek. Okay, I don't see any more questions in there. If anybody, pop it in there if you want me to go. I don't know if I could go live on any of the sites, but there really are, if you're spending any time online, they really are pretty user-friendly. So I'll give it just another minute, take a sip of my coffee because I'm on the Pacific Coast, so it's still early for me. Well, early. You're welcome, Brigitte. You're welcome, Erica. All right. Should we go? I'm going to go check out the networking rooms then, you guys. Thank you so much. Oh, wait. Okay, Pablo compared to Canva. So I think one of the things I really like about Pablo is there's not that many choices. When you go in to edit your text, you can change the fonts. There's a few of them in there, but there's maybe like 15. Like if you are like graphic nerd, don't waste your time with Pablo. But if you're like, I need to have good looking stuff, I'm not a graphic designer, I just need something that's solid, I think Pablo has fewer choices, easier to use, costs $0. When you get into Canva and you start to look for stuff, everything is the paid version and you've got to dig to find the free stuff. And then it just has so many choices and so much to do. So Pablo's a great training wheels. And then if you're like, I'm super into this and I want to be better at this, then you can pop it into Canva and then spend some money on it because you're going to, go that route. But for the most part, I mean, you can get just about everything you need from Pablo, quicker, easier, and fewer choices, right? Again, let's talk about cognitive load for us. How much time do I need to spend on that kind of thing? I need to be drumming up business. And so being able to go really quickly and then spend $0 on it. So Canva, fancier, more bells and whistles, will take more time. It's more complicated to learn. You bet, Regina. All right. If there's no other questions, all right. Good night, Brenda. It must be late for you. Gogo Den has an international following, so my Euros are, it's definitely nighttime for you. I'm impressed that you made it. Thank you, Queena. Thank you, Megan. All right.